Alright, so I'm Marcus Rutledge,
I'm Nathan Wilcox.
and today we are making monostable multi-vibrator circuit with a time delay of 2 seconds. So this is our initial Felsted drawing. So we built it, instead of doing 2000K or 20,000K ohm resistor, we did doing two 100 microfarad capacitors to make the time delay. Then we were tasked with doing the math for it. So you have your 10K ohm resistor, your 200 microfarad capacitors, times the 1.1 second for the time delay equation, ended up being 2.2 seconds. Then we were tasked with coming up with a troubleshooting for a no time delay. So when we were going through the circuit that we had built, it ended up being a pinched wire. As we went through and verified that everything matched the drawing, we had our two capacitors. We checked to make sure that the polarity was right, that they were plugged in. Our resistor was still plugged into the power, feeding into the circuit. We checked the push button to make sure that it wasn't slightly loose or anything like that. We checked the power supply, made sure that all of that was going into the correct spots. It ended up being this blue wire, not this one, but it was a pinched one that we noticed was failing to make the ground. And so when we turned it on, the light just turned on briefly and then turned back off. So it should look like this, where it does a 2-second delay, and that is because when the power comes through the resistor, hits the capacitor, they fill up, and then they discharge, which creates the delay to the LED. And all in all, I think it took about 10 minutes to 15 minutes to kind of figure out what was going on. So we made sure that everything was fine. So you had pin 1, which we made sure was to ground. Pin 2 came across, followed through our resistor into the series circuit, to the push button, to the ground. Came over here, 3 went across to our resistor, to our LED, to ground. 4 went to power. 8 connected to power here. Pins 6 and 7 connected here. 6 came across to our resistor. Can't really see it well there. So we have our resistor, wire 6 connect, capacitor, and then our jump from capacitor to ground. And all in all, to build the circuit, it took you about how long?
20 minutes.
How was your user interface with Felsted?
Without it, I probably wouldn't have gotten it done.
So this is pretty much our design and our project for the first test practical.
We also used Felsted in the very beginning to check our voltages and
Yep.
our resistance.
Yep, and we learned something pretty cool about the voltages too, with it jumping up and down.
Yes.
And then so this one ended up being at 5 volts. This one was at 0. And then this one was also,
So 1.8.
yep, so it jumped up and then jumped back down with the capacitance. And I think that's about it. Thanks for joining us.
And thanks for breaking our wire.